Hello everyone. How are you guys doing today? Good. As I said before, the exam was really bad for this class as well as my morning class. But you guys, it's especially bad compared to my morning class. Except 4 or 5, everybody failed. So it was horrible. So I decided to give you a test correction. You can do your test correction with a tutor, either from SIC department or SEC department, or you can work with your PLTL leaders. And you need to get their sign, their email, so that I can verify with them whether I really work with them. And then if you submit that within a week by next Thursday, then you get 10%, not 10 points, 10% of whatever you lost.
Tutors are not allowed to sign anything, but they could get a attendance that they attended tutoring appointment.
Are you sure? Because our supervisor, no, that's our supervisor, like the med department chairperson, they told us to get a signed document from tutors.
Tutors cannot submit
anything.
Well, they're not allowed to sign. They can get a paper that says that they attended that tutoring appointment.
Okay, that would be fine also. Wow. Why are you not allowed to sign anything? And our department chairperson told us as long as students get a signed document, we're allowed to give them points for test correction. So I was like, okay. So department actually never allowed that to have a test correction points, but from last semester they decided to help you guys. And so as long as you have a proof that you worked with someone and you learned your materials, then you get points. Not all the points back, but few points back from your wrong answers. So that's the good news. Since there are so many of you are missing, so I'm going to give you an exam back when more people come. And we'll start 4.5 from where we left off before our exam. Okay. And also I posted our next review sheet for our next exam. Our next exam will be March 10, not next week, but the following week, Tuesday. And since we have only 5 classes before that, today, tomorrow, and 3 classes next week, so we'll decide up to which section our exam should be. But I already posted the review sheet based on section 6.5. We may not be able to finish everything by next Friday. So whatever we finish by next Friday, our exam will be up to that point. So on Friday, we are going to mark a line where to stop for our exam. And I already posted that review sheet on Brightspace. So if you haven't noticed that yet, please go and start practicing those questions. We already done with 5.1, and let's see what we finished today. So my plan for today is to finish 4.5, which will not be in the second exam, but the questions I'm going to go over, they'll be in the final exam, and also they are in your homework and quizzes on my MATLAB. So we'll be finishing 4.5 today. So next Tuesday, you have your homework 5.1, 4.5. And my plan for tomorrow is to finish 5.234. 3 sections in one day because they are short. So if you can finish everything by tomorrow, then for Tuesday, you have 5 homeworks. 5.1, 2, 3, 4, and 4.5, including their quizzes. However, 5.1 quiz is attached with 10.2. So don't do quiz for 5.1, 10.2. It will take that quiz once you're done with 10.2. Okay, so plan for today is 4.5, finishing that today. For tomorrow, 5.234. So you're going to finish 3 sections tomorrow, and you already finished one section in our last class, and you will be finishing 1 section today. So you'll be finishing 5 sections this week. So you have 5 homework and quizzes due next week. I mean, you have less quizzes to take. Few of the 5 points are combined quizzes. So less quizzes, but definitely 5 homework. Okay. Okay, so let's do 4.5 for now. And then I'm going to give you exam back, talk a little bit about the exam, common mistake I found. And then if you have time, we will do something from chapter 5, or you can leave early. It depends. Any questions, comments, concerns? Okay, so 4.5. Previously, before the exam, we did several examples. We talked about money problem, the piggy bank, where you work with nickel, dimes, those things. And you also talked about our fruit salad and fruit problems. So in your final exam, you'll have one of these, either fruit problems or like flower problems or piggy bank money problem, or the last scenario is boat problem. So there are 3 types of situation I seen in previous finals, and you're going to have definitely one of these 3 scenarios in your final exam. So let's start with something easy, not too hard. All you have to do is visualize what is happening, and you'll understand how to do or how to solve this. This question is asking, a boat can travel 48 miles with the current in 4 hours. So we have a boat. You are traveling to somewhere. Let's say you're going to your friends and you are going by a boat. So when you're when you're going there, the current is flowing with the same direction as your boat. So your boat, my boat looks so weird. So boat and current, they are going toward the same direction. And you are crossing 48 miles in 4 hours. Okay. With the current, you are going on the boat, you are crossing 48 miles in 4 hours. That's going to give us the speed of your boat. So what's the speed you have here? 12. How did you come up with that? Speed is distance over time, and we are crossing 48 miles in 4 hours. That gives us our speed is 12 miles per hour. And that speed includes the boat and current because they are going toward the same direction. So speed of the boat plus speed of the current, the combination of both of them is 12 miles per hour. Any questions so far? Was anything complicated in the first sentence? No. Okay, then second sentence. It says the same boat means same you. It takes 6 hours to travel the same distance, but this time you are going against the current. So if this is the river and you are coming back after visiting your friends, so your boat is going in one direction, but the current is going toward another direction. So current is going this way, but your boat is moving the other way. So we have a friction. That's why it takes time. This time you are traveling same 48 miles, but it takes longer, 6 hours. When you are coming back, the direction is reversed, but current is still going to another direction. You're still crossing 48 miles, but this time instead of 4 hours, it takes 6 hours. So for speed, what is the speed in this situation? You're crossing 48 miles in 6 hours. So what is the speed of your journey? How much, Zichi? How do you get 8? 48 divided by 6. So you get 8 miles per hour. With the current, you have higher speed, 12 miles per hour. But against the current, you have lower speed, 8 miles per hour. Any questions so far? So we use the same one. So let's say B is the speed of the boat here. And C is speed of the current. Okay? So B and C. Now, when you're going with the current, what is your scenario? Speed of the boat plus speed of the current. The boat plus current. So we have double speed, so it's faster, 12 miles per hour. But when you're going against the current, so your boat has higher speed, current has lower speed. What do you do this time? Subtract. So speed of your boat minus speed of the current, and this time it's lower, 8 miles per hour. So from the two scenarios, from the two situations, from the two lines, we got two equations. And now we are happy because we have two system equations. We know how to solve them. Which method do you want to use? Substitution or elimination? Which one do you think would be easier? Elimination, because we have plus C and minus C. So if you use elimination, they're going to get canceled out. Elimination process. Yes, you definitely can use substitution. Elimination. So if you add the two equations, the current cancel out. You get twice both equals, what is 12 plus 8? 20 miles per hour. And then how do you solve for B? So what is the speed of the boat? 10 miles per hour. And you also have to find what is the speed of the current. So you take either one of the equations. B plus C is 12. We know B is 10. So 10 plus C is 12. Then how much is the C? 2. So current has speed 2 miles per hour. And that's all. Who is lost? Anyone? Or who has a question? You don't have to be lost. Do you have any question? 2020. So we added the two equations, b plus c and b minus c. So 10 plus 8 gives us 20. C and C cancel out because another is plus, another minus, and b plus b is 2b. So once you have your two system equations, either you can use elimination or substitution method to solve. We use elimination. In elimination method, you add the two equations. That's why C has to be lower than B. In real life, if you have higher speed of the current, will you ever reach to your destination? Current has high speed, but your boat has lower speed. Obviously, cannot reach the destination. Like a tornado, when you have tornado or sea storm, that time our current has higher speed. So boat can never reach to the destination until sea comes down. Any other question? Now, building upon this type of scenario, we have our next scenario, which is a little bit complicated than the first one. And all of these are final exam questions. So you may see one of these in the final. Which one? I don't know. This one is the most recent final exam question. So in your exam, you may see this one. I hope you don't, because it is a little bit bad. Ready? Okay. This question is saying a boat can travel 9 miles against the current. So against the current means what? Boat plus C or boat minus C? The boat minus C. Speed of the boat minus speed of the current. A boat can travel 9 miles against the current in the same time it takes to travel 11 miles downstream with the current. With the current means what? B plus C. Did they mention how long it takes? They did not mention how long, but they're saying it takes same time. So let's say it takes 3 hours to travel both 9 miles and 11 miles. How much is the T? We don't know. It could be 1 hour, it could be 2 hours, it could be 3 hours, 4 hours. We don't know. They didn't tell us. They told us it takes same time. So whatever time it takes to go upstream and downstream, the same amount of time it takes for both scenario, but we cross different distance. So against the current, in 3 hours, we cross 9 miles. With the current, we cross 11 miles in 3 hours. And we know our speed, right? Speed is distance over time. So against the current, what is our speed? 9 miles over time. And against the current, our speed is 11 miles over time. The 9 miles over t and 11 miles over t. That is our speed. With the current and against the current. With the current and against the current. Now, it says if the current is 3 miles per hour. So they're only telling us what is the speed of the current. So we don't need to write C anymore. All this C turn into 3. So B minus 3 and we have B plus C. So this is the scenario. Against the current, we are crossing 9 miles in 3 hours. With the current, we are crossing 11 miles in 3 hours. Now, since they both have T in them, we can actually solve for T easily. We know our speed is distance over time. And since we don't know what is our time, so to get the time alone, we can multiply both sides by time. Multiply by time. So we get time times the speed is distance. And then we can divide by speed. So we get our time, which we don't know, is distance over speed. Let me clear this to not confuse you. Come on, it is. Speed of the boat and current. So we just modified the function, modified the equation that speed is distance over time. If speed is distance over time, then time is distance over speed. Why do we care? Because t is unknown. They didn't tell us what time is it. But we do know whatever time we have, if this is t, with the current, we are going we are crossing 11 miles with the speed b plus 3. And in the same time, we are crossing 9 miles with the speed b minus 3. With the current, we are crossing 11 miles in t hours. Against the current, we are crossing 9 miles in t hours. So why do we care? Well, if both of them have the same time, that means both of them are equal to one another. The both are same as t. We get this side equals that side. So we get insert 11 miles over b plus 3. The speed is same as 9 miles over b minus 3. Because they both are time. Time equals this, time equals that. And since we have the same time, that means they both are same. And now we can solve for t. B. We can cross multiply these and set them equal to one another. So when you have two fractions, you can always cross multiply them and set them equal. So we have 11 times b minus 3 equals 9 times b plus 3. And then now it becomes simple algebra. We distribute 11, we get 11b minus 33. We distribute the 9 to the other side, we get 9b plus 27. They are asking what is the speed of our boat. They already told us the speed of the current is 3. So if you find b, we are done. Now to get the b alone, we can subtract the 9b from both sides. So we get 2b minus 33 equals 27. To get the b alone, we can add 33 to both sides. So we get 2b equals 3 plus 7 is 10, 2, 3, 5, 6. 27 plus 33 gives us 60. And now what is our last step to get the b alone? Divide by 2. That tells us the speed of the boat. What is half of 60? 30 miles per hour. So bottom line, whatever is missing, we can write an equation in terms of that missing piece. Since we have the same time, that's why we converted all the information given here in terms of that time. Why? Because we can cancel the time and set the two equations equal to one another. For example, if A equals B and B equals C, that means A equals C or B equals C. So if three things are equal to one another, they all are equal to one another, or two things are equal to one another. We use that concept and we set 11 miles over b plus 3 equal to 9 miles over b minus 3. And then using algebraic trick by cross multiplication, we multiplied cross, set them equal, we got the b alone. And we found our speed of the boat. Who has a question? What type of question you think you can ask me here? Which part was confusing? M is miles. Nothing happened to it. We have miles at the end. We have this miles per hour. So mile is there. Mhm. Because I didn't want to make things harder for you guys. So this is 11 miles plus the speed, 9 miles plus the speed, and at the end you get miles per hour. Hmm? M is not a variable. M is in unit, miles. Right. I didn't need to include that, but I put there so you can see it's the distance, 11 miles. And then B plus 3 is the speed, miles per hour. Mm-hmm. So this question is a little bit different and kind of bad than the first one. I love the first one. It was easy to see. But this one, I hate this. But surprisingly, they asked this question in the final exam. So expect to see this type of question in your exam. Any other question? B is the speed of the boat, and C, speed of the current. But they told us speed of the current is 3. So B plus 3 and B minus 3. Now the next question. So this is the shortcut version, not shortcut, like small version of all the details work I did. And then we have our last question from 4.5. This is not a final exam question. However, this is from your homework and quiz on my MATLAB. You can copy this down and then we'll do this together. And let me take the attendance. Andrea, Sheikh, Christian, Christina, Christopher, Daniel, Devlat. Devlat, you are absent for so many days. What happened? You did? In which email? In Baruch email or on Gmail? Gmail? Did I reply? So forward that again, please. Probably I didn't receive it. No, in my Gmail again. It's probably went to spam folder. Yeah, I don't remember receiving anything from you. Okay. So send it again, please. Dennis, Idaliz, Jared, Jay, Joshua, Justin, Caitlin, Caitlin Lopez, Kelly, Kyle, Lady, Muntaha, no phone. Nayari, Nicholas I, Nicholas S, Aresti, Rana, Ricardo, Taj, Mora, and Zichi. So absent lady, Caitlin, Devlot is here, Christian and Sheikh. Okay, this one is much easier than the other two. It says Jen Butler has been pricing speed pass train fares for a group trip to New York. 3 adults and 4 children must pay $94. 2 adults and 3 children must pay $66. Find the price of each adult and each child's ticket. So I bolded out the important part. 3 adults and 4 children pay $94. Who can tell me the equation from this line? 3A. Good job. If adult is represented by A and children is represented by C, so we have 3 adults plus 4 children, $94. And then the next sentence, 2 adults and 3 children pay $66. So what's the equation this time? Perfect. So we have our 2 equations, we are happy. And then we ask ourselves, which method you want to use, substitution or elimination? Personally, I like elimination. For elimination, we have a problem. None of the coefficients are same. They all are different from one another. So that means if you want to have same coefficient with opposite sign, we have to multiply both equations this time. And then you ask yourself, do you want to eliminate A or do you want to eliminate C? What do you suggest? A? Okay. So we want to have same coefficient in front of A, but with different sign. So what do you think we should multiply the first equation by? Good job. And multiply the second equation by 3. You guys are very smart. You may wonder, where did they get all these numbers? Well, the trick is here. First A has 3, second A has 2 in front. Between 3 and 2, they are nothing in common. That means they both are prime. So in order to have the same coefficients, multiply these 2 by the 3 and the 3 by these 2. And keep the sign negative for one of them. If you want, you can put -3 here, -2 here, or -2 here, +3 here. Your sign has to be different. It doesn't matter where you put the negative sign, but you have to have the same number. So we multiply the opposite coefficients. And then we have the same coefficients at the end. So if you multiply the entire first line by -2, what is your new equation? For 2 times 4. -8C, and then 94 times 2. -188. So 4 times 2 is 8, and 9 times 2 is 18. So 188. Now the new second equation is what? 6A. 198. So 66 times 3. 3 times 6 is 18. 8 goes on the bottom, 1 goes on the top as an addition. Again, 3 times 6 is 18, plus that extra 1 is 19. So plus 6A minus 6A cancel out. There is no more A. And how many C's we have? 1 C. And we have $198 minus $188. How much we have? $10. So the children ticket is $10. This is the dollar sign. And then you decide which method you want to use. Do you want to do the same process again to find C or to find A, or do you want to use substitution to get the A? It's up to you. Okay, for substitution, you pick one of these. It doesn't matter which one. Let's say I'm picking the first one. 3A plus 4C is 94. And this time we already know our C is $10. So we get 4 times 10, which is $40. So 3A plus 40 is 94. And then how do you solve for A? Subtract 40. So we get 3A. How much is 94 minus 40? 54. 4 minus 0 is 4. 9 minus 4 is 5. And then lastly, to get the A alone, what do we do? Divide by 3. Do you know what is 52 divided by 3 without using calculator? 18. So our adult ticket is $18. But if you don't know, don't worry, I'm going to show you how to do it manually. We have 54 and we are dividing by 3. 3 goes to 5 how many times? 1. And then you multiply. 3 times 1 is 3. You write this down below 5 and then you subtract. What is 5 minus 3? 2. And a 2 is smaller than 3, so we need another number. So you go to 4 and bring it down. Now this $2 suddenly turns into $24. Now 3 goes to 24 how many times? 8 times. So you multiply 3 times 8 and write it down below 24, and then you subtract, you get remainder 0. It means stop. Don't go any further. So 3 goes to 54 18 times. So each adult ticket is $18. Each children ticket is $10. And with this, we are done with section 4.5. So I covered all the important questions. Whatever you have in your homework, you can try them with your tutors to do them, or you can search on Google. Google has most of the question, has detailed solution in the Google. So as long as you understand the solutions, you know how to do your question. You may not see the exact same question, but similar ones. Okay. Any question, comment, concern, complaint? I want to see a better score in the next exam. This exam was really, really, really disappointing. Vichy, Kelly, RST, Christina, Ricardo, Christian, Nicholas S, Kyle, Janice, Jared, Mora, Jake, Rana, Caitlin, Lady, Nayari, Nicholas I, Andrea, Idaliz, Danielle, Jay, Muntaha, Joshua, Christopher, Christopher got the highest. Mhm. So, I didn't calculate that, but you can see it on Brightspace. No. Oh yeah. Come on. Okay. So you came late, guys, so you didn't see. This is the situation. Whatever you lost, not whatever you got. Whatever you lost from those lost points, you can get 10%, not 10 points. 10% of whatever you lost if you do a test correction. But you have to do the test correction with your tutors, any tutors, either from SIG if you're a SIG student, or from SAC, or if your PLTL leaders want to work with you, you can work with them. Or if you want, they can go over the exam on doing PLTL and then let me know that you have all the correction. Now, what you're going to do with this is the due date is next week Thursday, so 1 week. Now, I don't want you to submit that in person. Instead, you're going to submit that on Brightspace. We can have your copy of the solution, and I can have just a digital copy. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to your class. Under content, you see at the left panel is a test correction. Click on the test correction, and then it will take you to this page. So what you're going to do, I already posted a blank exam sheet, like not your exam, blank exam. For example, here, I posted both version, PDF and Word document. So fill this out, and then here, she said tutor signature, we cannot get it, but whatever you can get, email, tutor's name, tutor's email, the date, put everything, and then from where you got your tutor, from SIG, from SAC, or you feel leader. Who filled this out? Who helped you to learn your materials? The main idea behind test correction is for you to learn what you made mistake in the exam, and then in the future, don't make the same mistake. That's the purpose. So don't work with AI. AI is not a tutor. You have to have a physical tutor. One of these. Give me their name, their email, so I can verify that you really work with them. And then do the test. So whatever you got, you already have the solution with you. Just copy this down here. And then whatever you got wrong, do that correctly this time. Put everything into one PDF file and then submit here. Okay. So to submit, all you have to do is click on test correction. Click this test correction link. And see here, I said 10% of whatever you lost. So I already have your scores. So whatever you lost, 10% of that will be added with your current score. You upload, click on upload, and you're allowed to upload only one file. So whatever you have, put everything into one PDF file and then upload here. Okay, so in that way, you can have your physical copy, and I can have only the digital one. So I can take your work, and you have your solution in front of you. You can use it before your final exam. Okay. Plus another good news. Whatever we have right now, you're going to get 3 more points once you fill out a reflection, test reflection, not correction, test reflection, which I'm going to give you tomorrow. So you're going to tell us like why you did that. How did you study? You reflect on yourself. How come you failed? How come you didn't get 100? What's wrong? Okay. So reflect on everything so that it will help you in the next exam, which is within 2 weeks. So for that test reflection, you get 3 points. The next exam.
What chapter is that?
5 and 6.
What is it, 5 point, how many, like, 5.1 and 5.2?
I'm going to show you the review sheet again. Danielle, question? 5.1. And if you are done with 5.234 tomorrow, then you have 5.234.
But 4.5 is not complete.
We are done with the section today, 4.5. So your homework and quiz,
You said one of them didn't have complete.
5.1.
Wait. The exam is on 5 and 6?
So this is the exam review I posted. This is the exam review I posted. Now this is based on 6.5. Okay. So since we have only 4 classes excluding today, we may not be able to finish everything. So whatever we finish by next Friday, we are going to cut that line here, and then your exam will be up to that point, up to that section. So this is just an estimation. Your next exam is not next week, but the following week, Tuesday. So we have next week and tomorrow.
Section 10.2?
5.1, 10.2. So definitely what will be in the exam, I know, is 5.1, 2, 3, 4. Definitely 10.2. So this will definitely will be in your exam. Now from chapter 6, we'll decide. Okay. So things are getting harder, guys. Not harder, like more materials in less time. We don't have. This is easier.
Oh, okay. Like, this is easier than the first.
Everything is easier except 10.2. So next exam is easier than the first one, but there is 10.2, which is harder. Also, guys, I put together all these exponent rules. We already learned this slide and this slide. We didn't learn these two. So these two are in 10.2. We are going to learn later. But I put together all these rules, and guess what? In your exam, you're going to have 35 points on these. 35. A lot. So you can pass at least half of the exam if you know your rules very well. I'm not going to just ask you the rules. I'm going to give you a question, a problem, and you're going to apply the rule to tell me what's the answer. For example, what is 100 to the 0 power? 1. Anything that is not 0 has a power 0 means 1. See, if you know your rule, it should be easy. What is negative 2x? Everything to the power 0. 1. See, you don't have to distribute and figure out. No, you know anything as long as it's not 0 on the base, but the power is 0, then it's always 1. Always. So if I give you million to the power 0, what is million to the power 0? 1. So know your rules well. You don't have to do any math. Just apply the rules. That's it.
How do you remember, like, what is it, like, what would you recommend to, like, remember everything for the text?
For a test, what I do from my experience, what I do is I keep looking at the materials every day, even though I don't have time to do them. But if I do them once and just review every day, the more you look at the solution, the more it gets stuck in the brain. So this is what I do. Like I do the review sheet once. Like I don't do it now, but when I was undergrad or my grad level student, that time I did the review sheet or whatever important questions I have. Once I completed it, and then every day for 5 or 10 minutes, just look at the steps. Okay. So if you remember your steps in the exam, you can do any question that follows the same structure. And about the rules, see, I put them together. So print them out. I also have document format. So make it bigger if you need to. And then every day, read those rules. Anything that is not 0 to the power 0 is 1. Then what is 0 to the 0? Doesn't exist. That's why anything not 0 is 1. But when 0 is the base, we get lost. We have no idea what to do. Doesn't exist. And now we have 3 rules for 0. One is 0 base, doesn't exist. 0 is the negative power, doesn't exist. So 0 can take only positive power. Positive whole number, positive fraction, positive anything. 0 with anything positive is 0. So I put this together number-wise, base-wise. 0, 1, and negative 1s. 1 is the most generous number. It can have positive, negative, decimal, fraction, anything, but it still always remains same. 1. For negative 1, there are 3 scenarios. One is odd number or odd fraction, whatever, and then one is even whole number and even fraction. For even fraction, sorry, it doesn't exist. My bad. Why did I write 1 here? It should be it doesn't exist. Fix this. Even power, so a negative number cannot have the even fraction. For example, square root of negative 1 doesn't exist. Fourth root of negative 1 doesn't exist. So negative base cannot have an even fraction. The answer is 10. And any negative number to the whole number, even number, whole even number, is always 1. So know your rules well. Then you can do all 35 questions in 3 minutes only. Okay. And okay, so these are for the next review sheet. Now about our exam, the common mistakes. Surprisingly, many of you got the first one wrong. What's the slope? And there are 2 reasons. One is you solve this equation as y equals mx plus b, and then you forgot to tell me what's the slope. In y equals mx plus b, which one is the slope? Is this y, m, x, or b? Which one? So you have to tell me. I know the math, but do you know the math? Do you know your information? Which one is the slope? So this is your test, not my test. Don't assume I can know your head, your brain, and then give you point for that. So if you did correctly, however, did not point out what is the slope, you didn't get points. So surprisingly, sad news is this. I didn't give points for that if you did not measure what is the slope. And even if you did found slope, you got your sign wrong. So many of you got this wrong. And the last question is supposed to be based on the first one, A. So if you know how to do A, you should know how to do this question. What's the difference between A and this extra question? The numbers. So what's the slope here? 4/5. So what do you think the slope should be here? P/Q. But did you forget about the sign? Remember I said the rule is your slope is negative. Why it doesn't work? Negative A/B. you have a negative sign. So here we have -4/-5. That's why you have 4/5, because you have double negative. In this scenario, we have P as A and Q as B. So this is same as A and B. So our slope will be -A/B, means -P/Q. See? Easy. I wanted to be generous to you guys, but they got it wrong. And then another mistake I found, that you thought to find y-intercept, you set y0. If you set y0, y get vanished. How can you get y-intercept? Whatever you are finding, you have to get rid of the other variable. So for y-intercept, x has to be 0. For x-intercept, y has to be 0. And here, if you guys got double negative but did not simplify, I took off points. Why? Because see, I bolded out clearly. Write your slope in simplified form. So if you have double negative, you're supposed to make it positive. So I took off points for that. Huh? What's the answer, guys? 4/5, something like that? How much? -5/9, right? Right? I don't want to do the math for -5/4. And if you got this wrong, that means definitely you got the second part wrong. But I was being nice. I gave you at least 1 point if you got the second substitutions correctly.
Simplified form, you want to put that in -1/4.
No, there was one question, I forgot which one. We had negative/negative. And then people didn't simplify, so I took off points. Probably not this one, but someone, okay? Some question. And question number 3. You guys didn't have to do any math, guys. Come on, why did you disappointed me here? Parallel perpendicular line. All you need to do is find the slope. That's it. So for this question, if you remember the rule, it's -A/B. So this time you have your -8/-7. Or this question. If you gave me -8/-7, I took off 1 point. Why? Because anytime you have double negative, what happens? It turns into positive. So that means for B, just flip it. 7/8 and change the sign. So see, it doesn't even take 1 second. Sorry, 1 second it takes. Well, not 1 even minute. The next one, I clearly said x has to be positive and no fraction. So if you get the answer correct, but you did not follow these 2 requirements, I took off points. Surprisingly, most people got 11 here. The answer is 17. And this one, 6. No math is needed. When I say show you what, it just had to show me 2 things. One, you're walking from your y-intercept downward, so it means you have -1. And then another direction, you are walking right 2 steps, so +2. And you have your answer. Y equals -1/2x plus your y-intercept, which is 1. See, it shouldn't take even 1 second. One thing I got said actually here to mark you 0. It's that you thought that 1 is 2. Most of you thought that 1 y-intercept is 2. And I was like, why did you think it's 2? You clearly see this is 2, this is 3. So even though it looks like 2, How can we put double 2? See? 2, 3, 4. You can see them clearly. 2, 3, 4. You can see them clearly. So why do you think I put 2 twice? I really felt bad if you guys did everything correctly, but because it is true, so everything else is wrong. The next one. A few of you could not understand the difference between parentheses and square bracket. When do you put parentheses? When you cannot use that number. Can you use x equals 5/2 here? If x is 5/2, you get 2 times 5/2 minus 5. So 2 cancel out, you get 5 minus 5. And what is 5 minus 5? 0. That means we get 1/0. So can you use 5/2 here? We cannot. Anytime we cannot use a number, it's parentheses. Bracket means we can use. Parentheses means we cannot use. We definitely cannot use 5/2 because that makes the denominator 0. Everything becomes undefined. If you have a pen, you definitely cannot divide this pen into 0 pieces. It's impossible. So 1 divided by 0 is impossible. So you cannot use 5/2. So the option has to be A, not B. And then the most sad part of your exam was this page. I gave you this page, guys, to make your life easier so that you can easily earn 18 points. Easily earned. But you guys didn't even read. First of all, I said pick the correct choice and fill the correct blank. And I clearly wrote or means your answer has to be x equals the number or y equals the number. If you give me both x equals and y equals, does it make sense? I said pick one of them or. And I said here, pick the correct choice. Pick the correct choice, not the wrong choice. So if you picked correct and wrong at the same time, so I had to mark all of these 0. And here, all you have to do is read the line I highlighted, not highlighted, I bolded and underlined for you. So parallel to the x equals 2 line. So what is x equals 2? Somewhere here. Now, another line that is parallel to that but goes through 1, 2. So our 1, 2 is here. Any line that is parallel to that x2 is another vertical line. That means we have vertical lines to work with, and every vertical line has which type of equation? X equals a number or y equals a number? Which one? X equals. So what the x value here? 1. So this is x equals 1. There was a typo here. So even if you picked x equals -1, I gave you points because it was my typo. So see, the correct choice is x equals, not y equals. And then every vertical line has which type of slope? 0 or undefined? Undefined. So circle this correct one. C, parallel to the y-axis. So if this is your y-axis, a line that is parallel but goes through -2, -4, it has to be here. That means it's a vertical line. So again, any vertical line has to be x equals. X equals 1. The only x value you see in this question is -2. So it has to be -2. X equals -2.
So like we're on the study guide. We have comments.
Let me show you. If you look at the recording, I clearly said there will be at least 24 points on this, guys. So in the final exam, they put one of this scenario. Which one? I don't know. So I gave you all this combination. See, I clearly wrote 24 points. So you should have studied this harder because 24 points a lot. So see, 4 scenarios I gave you here, but all this combination, I wanted to give you 24 and I said, no, 18 is fine. Still, you disappointed me so much with 18 points. I cannot imagine what you have done with 24 points. Anytime, guys, I tell you anything. This will win the exam and that many points means study harder. Like 35 points harder, okay? 35 points. So make sure you know all of your exponent rules and how to use them. If you have 35 points out of whatever we have, at least you have much better chance of passing than studying overall other things. So anyway, so that's all you have to do. Just figure out what is given and then which one makes sense. So for every x equals, it's undefined. One last one, perpendicular to the y-axis. So if this is y-axis, perpendicular line -2, -4, it has to go horizontally. So every horizontal line has which type? X equals or y equals in the equation? Y equals. So what is the y value you see in this box? So that's all you have to do. Pick the y value for y. And every horizontal line has undefined slope or zero slope? Zero. So now you know, right? So make sure you do this page correctly in a test direction. And another disappointed thing, man, this one. I said like million times in class that all that you do is look at your y. What's the power on the y? And just tell me whether it's an even power or odd power. That's what you have to do. Power on the y, not power, only power. So if you tell me no because odd power, no because even power, I give you 0. Even power on what? Odd power on what? So the first one, we look at y. What type of power y have? Even or odd? Even. So you write even power on y. So when you have even power on y, is it a function or is not a function? Which one? Not. So no, because even power on the y. So if you said no because of the even power, I didn't give you points. Why? Because look at the x. X also has even power. So how would I know which one you meant, x or y? So for these y's, I saw so many weird answers. I was like, all you have to do is write even power on I, y, or odd power. Why did you come up with all these weird answers? Like, you guys are, remarkable coming up with some weird things. These should be easy points. All you have to do is draw any vertical line and tell me what is the result, even function or not function. So here there are only 3 things that is not function. This one because you have 2. This one because you have infinitely intersection, and the circle because you have 2 intersection. One sad thing, a few of you got the correct choice correct first, but then you erase and then pick the wrong one. But man, why did you do that? So look at the domain. Clearly from -4 and then 3. So -4 to 3. 3 is included, that means bracket. -4 is not included, means parentheses. For domain, which of these has -4 not included, 3 included? -4 included, wrong. They don't even have -4. These two have -4 included, but only this one has 3, -4 excluded, 3 included. So you only have to look at the range. If you observe the domain, you know your answer. For this one, it clearly says find the slope. I even underline that so that you can see. Find the slope, not the y value only, slope. So once you find the y value, a few of you mark, this is our y value, this is our y value, and that's it, you're done. Look, I'm not asking for y value, I'm asking for slope. Actually, not me. All these questions are from department. So they're asking for the slope. So once you get to y value, you need to use the slope formula to get the slope. These two should be easy questions, but you made things so complicated, and at the end, you got everything wrong. You get a huge fraction. And I was like, what you are doing? Like, all these are easy ones, guys. So do them again, okay? Correctly. And clearly I said here, options for both X and Y. Why did I give you that? Because I want you to find both X value and the Y value. So if you found only X and circle and then did not solve Y, you didn't get the points. Because it's solve. I didn't say solve only one variable. I said solve. Solve means both X and Y as a pair. So if you did half of the question, why do you expect to get the full points? And these doesn't have partial credit. So either you get full point or no point. So even if you got X correct, you get 0. You get Y correct, you get 0 because you didn't find both X and Y.
So we should have selected 2 options and find 3 questions. But A had 2 answers and
B doesn't have 2 answers because D is either infinite solution or no solution. This one I put easy questions. Most people didn't do it, no problem. And then the last one. It says, what is my name? And then I put S and J. So obviously it's not your name I'm asking for, right? Because you already told me your name here. That's from here. So why do you think I get extra points? Do like it again. Does it make sense? So 1 point if you wrote my name correctly, my name, not your name, my name correctly, and 1 point if you answered this correct, this with your information. Okay. This should be these 4 points plus 1 extra credit at the beginning. This I put 5 extra credit here, and then many of you didn't do it.
There's 10% of the points that you brought. Out of 8.
No, we're out of 100. So whatever you have, whatever you lost, 10% off that. Enjoy, guys. See you tomorrow.
which will help your exam.
She's squared